Okay, so this is the drawing that we had open and we were working in a few videos back. And part of our assignment this week is to work with some title blocks. So as we've previously discussed, this is model space, and we have some layout tabs already open here. I have previously downloaded a title block, and you can find these on the internet readily available. I just note that you need to look for the particular page size that you have you're interested in. Now this particular title block came in as a block. It's a particular object in AutoCAD. It still carries a .dwg file extensions. Notice this. This is the title block here. .dwg says it's a AutoCAD file. I've got my different tabs up here. This is drawing one, is the one that I am interested in. Now this is a what I'm going to do is insert a title block and set up a sheet. I can either do it with an XREF or I can do it with a block reference. For this particular installation, I'm just going to do it as a block reference. The reason is it's the first one I found. I can do it either way. So if I click on the layout tab, let's just go ahead and rename it as I don't know, sheet G1. Once I do that, I want to edit the page layout. So I right click Page Setup Manager. It brings up this dialog box on sheet G1 so I can modify it. Here is where we've seen this particular dialog box before. It's nothing new. So I want to change the plotter to DWG to PDF. I have a 22 by 34 title block, so I'm just going to select ANSI D and plot the layout area and hit OK. Notice that my viewport is a different size now, and my paper space has expanded. I want to put in a title block in this area. Just a couple of things about what you're seeing here. The dashed lines are indicative of the printable area. As you know, things will not be able to be printed. Most printers can't print all the way up to the exact edge of the paper, so there is some type of margins, and this is nothing that we haven't seen before in like Word or Excel or so forth. Printers just can't handle that last little bit, so this is a good go by. Now it's not always set in stone. Different plotters plot different actual widths, so you may need to adjust it accordingly. What we're going to do is we're going to lay this title block on this sheet and somewhat center it up of these margins. Okay, so for this particular operation, I'm going to use the Insert tab, Insert. Now I could have several loaded in here, but I'm going to browse. And this is my title block that I had previously downloaded. As soon as I click on it, notice it has a preview. As soon as I hit Insert, I have several options. Of course, I can rotate it, scale it, several other operations that can be accomplished. Now I'm going to specify the insertion point on screen. Now I want to center up the best I can of this layout. Now I want to more or less center it on the printable area, and I haven't selected the exact location yet. That's why I'm still able to move it around. As soon as I click OK, then it will lock in there. You can use draw some lines on there and use it as a reference point if you absolutely want to center it up of your sheet. Now, since this is a block that I downloaded, it will allow me different data points to put in there. And this is the reason why you would XREF or load a block in, is so you don't have to change this each individual time. So for the landowner, I'm just going to put, let's say, FSU project. This is going to populate the title block. It saves you from having to manually type those. Designer. Again, we talked about the need to put the information on the title block so we know what has been done by the different operations. I'm going to leave the rest of this blank and hit OK. Since it is a block, notice that it has populated. Now I'll need to go back and change a couple of these, and I'll leave those to you. It's hanging out of the block here, and I'll need to address that. Yours may not have this on it as well. You may be able to type in different points. It's not very professional that it's outside of the bounds. I'm just going to scoot this down a little bit. And it's doubled up too. I would want to fix that. Okay, so now that I have my title block in sheet G1, I have this particular viewport, and again, remember, a viewport is a window into the model space as viewed from a paper object. So I can just expand this out. Now notice the view expanded, but the scale did not. My objects are still scaled, and the scale that's applied is here, and I can adjust those accordingly. Notice 1 to 40 makes it smaller. There's all types of scales that can be applied. If I go into the viewport by double clicking, I have all of the options. In this case, I have see these words here and the cube here. That tells me that I'm in the viewport, and I can adjust it accordingly.